Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to this little thing I'm going to do. This is from the Metroid plus Zelda randomizer relay, which was really fun and interesting. I had a role on a team. I'm up there on Blame Metal on the top left. This was the start of the relay. Started out with the Metrandomizer, and we're all getting started here. So this is all blind for everyone. All four members, again, starting out. So everyone's, wanting to put their team hopefully in a good spot. So I'm just doing this, just kind of go over kind of what I'm looking at here. And, right off the bat, it's really interesting. In Diaz, he went to the right. That's actually, I don't know. That's like the only time I've actually seen that. It's Metroid. You go to the left, and normally going to the left pays off. You'll see though in this, India's decision to go to the right, I think, is actually gives him a huge lead. And there's just some things that happen later on where that lead is lost. So also huge props and shout outs to India's Saffron and Chex Human as I find the long beam and want nothing to do with that crap. Find trash, leave trash, or burn it. So yeah, huge shout out to the other three, because out of them all, out of everyone running this, I'm probably the only one who's played it more than 2 weeks. And it's been closer to like 20 something years since I've been playing the game. It's a big time difference, but they all kind of got things together, kind of got things sorted out and all that. And yeah, it was really impressive for them. So yeah, people going left, finding some stuff. I have not found anything yet. I was actually a little worried, because I don't have missiles, morph, I don't have bombs, I don't have anything. All I found was long beam, and that was garbage. Yeah, and also I want to mention Chex ended up joining really last minute, and he ended up he does good at the game stuff. As I find the floor. So generally with this randomizer, some things I've noticed, as we see Diaz is making his way through a missile door here, plus getting nailed in the doorway, and getting high jump early. High jump is definitely nice to have. But one thing I've noticed, generally going to the left will get you to Kraid. The elevator platforms down to either Norfair or Kraid or Ridley, whatever, they're always going to be at like the bottom of one of these shafts. Pretty much same with the terrain entrance. As I find bombs, still no morph. Morph was actually to the right of the starting point, so I mean, you can see Chex is already, he's leaving everyone behind. He's going straight down to Norfair. I don't think he really dove Brinstar at all, which honestly didn't really cost him anything, especially going to the left. I mean, there was bombs. As luck, Diaz finds various suit. I mean, there was a lot of stuff to the right. If you went to the right and then quickly went back to the left, because Morph Ball is actually like on the shafts directly to the right of the starting point, you could have come back, got your bombs, and basically be in go mode for the most part. Also, poor tracker. It's hard to keep track of 4 games, especially when literally no one plays this game and has no idea what anything is. But I definitely don't have Ice Beam. So yeah, we're all still kind of just going through our beginning entry phases here. Saffron did manage to find. So I was giving item. I think what was happening here was, the tracker thing was kind of backwards somewhere, so someone was finding these things and they thought was a different name, but it ended up given to me. So they figure it out eventually. Don't worry about it. So yeah, I don't actually have anything. I'm going down to Norfair now. In Diaz, he's found his elevator. He is going to Kraid. And you notice, he decided he's going to do his little up A thing to try to get to the elevator faster. I'm not sure if that's actually faster, but it's an interesting little strat there. As this room turns out very poorly, as the Garuda just wrecks me. So I end up going back through there and getting absolutely nothing in return. So yeah, everyone else has something. I have bombs and no morph. Everyone else has missiles, which is actually pretty important to find. It's really nice to find those early because you can get those item hallway rooms with the missile doors at the end, or you're down in Kraid or Ridley or something like that, and there are missile doors, and not having missiles really sucks. So yeah, I died, and then it was just a dead end, so whatever. So yeah, everyone else here is finding stuff. Like Saffron, he has his very ice beam, his high jump. Chex is getting his same stuff, and I'm down here diving, diving Norfair still. So something about the randomizer here is morph ball is like, I have bombs, so morph would be great right now. Like, that's what I'm looking for. Besides the missiles, I want morph mostly. You don't need high jump if you have morph and bombs. You can get away around it. High jump still helps, as we'll see with something I pulled off later. But morph ball can be in Norfair, it can be in Kraid, it can be in Brinstar, it can be in Ridley. So there's really nothing, and that's one of the nice things about this particular randomizer, because there's not a whole lot of items. There's not a whole lot of like utility stuff. So you're really limited to high jump morph bombs for your utility. Screw attack and Varia are nice to have, and then obviously you need wave beam. Otherwise, I mean, there's not a whole lot there. So the fact is, for the most part, your items can spawn basically anywhere that's not terrain. That's, I think, one of the great things about this randomizer. As I finally, over 7 minutes in, get my first missile pack. I was actually feeling really behind in this, because I hadn't found anything. So my first missile pack over 7 minutes in. At this point, I was definitely not feeling great about where I was. And then some things later kind of compound that. But yeah, I mean, having screw attack already for Indiaz as well. I believe that one was in Kraid. That's a nice item to have. In NEStroid, there's kind of some functionality that's not there, because I'm sure if you're watched my channel at all, you've seen some of my NEStroid stuff, you know. Screw attack does not actually stay screwy below the vertical height you start at. So you kind of leave your spin jump if you fall lower than the spot you jumped from. So something here, I did get wave beam. Everyone else has ice beam. So I actually get the functionality of wave beam here, which is kind of nice. All my practice seeds, I always found ice beam first, which basically makes wave beam. It'll stack now on this randomizer, but it makes wave beam kind of useless. Like it's nice to get wave beam before ice, and at least get some use out of it as far as damage. It is nice now that the randomizer kind of fixes the stacking thing, so you don't have to just skip wave beam if you have ice. You can go ahead and collect it. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just really not going to do anything either. So yeah, I'm still diving Norfair. Saffron's still joining me, and poor Saffron, he was he was having some issues with his morph ball. So something Saffron did, I'm not sure if anyone else did this. I didn't, but he was kind of keeping a map on paper, which isn't a bad thing to do. I think in the newest version of the randomizer now, the map is no longer, or a map is in with it. Also, this is great. There's an E-tank up here. And guess what? I'm not going to get... Just going to get dead by lava there. That's great. So yeah, Check's human with the morph ball already, with ice beam, with high jump. Basically, he needs bombs. He's in go mode. Ideally, you want at least one E-tank, mostly for Kraid. Even over Mother Brain, it's not... You don't need too much health for Mother Brain. If you know what you're doing. If you're not very comfortable manipulating the Rinkas, and you're not very precise with your movements, it's probably worth getting extra E-tanks. But I mean, especially if they're on your way, you might as well get them. But they're not something you should really be going way out of your way to look for. With Varia, 1 is definitely nice. 2 is really nice. Without Varia, it's what I would recommend for Kraid. As I am going back through the acid this time. So here I'm like, I decide I'm not going that way just because I don't have morph. If the blocks spawn and my wave beam doesn't break the blocks properly, I'm kind of stuck in the middle. So to get around that, I just take the bath. So Chex might be actually looking on some paper too. That might be what he's doing. And Chex does really good on this seed. Realistically and honestly, he should have won this seed. Or this part of the relay. This leg, I guess, is the correct term. But we'll see. So yeah, Saffron coming across his wave beam there. He's skipping it because he was probably not sure if he should trust that doesn't actually stack. So it did actually stack this time. The randomizer itself really didn't have any testing at all until like a month or 2 before this relay. And then Snarf and I, as I dive into Ridley, I'm like, oh no. So I do want to mention this. That little trick I did right there. Normally, you'd be familiar with the morph, unmorph, and then jump. However, if you just slip off the edge, you won't change your standing animation, and then you can jump from that. So you don't need morph to do the mid-air jumps. It's just much better, nicer. Also, this cotton candy pink is amazing. I love this palette. I do not love what I find at the end of this room, though. In a way I do, but it's also really irritating. I have 5 missiles right now. What I don't want to see is Ridley to the right, because that means I have to go through a 10 missile door, and there's Ridley to the right. It's the purple door. So I'm not even going to bother with that. I can't jump up there. I don't have the missiles for it. So I was actually pretty excited right now. I was pretty excited. I found Ridley. So I'm like, hey, I know where he is. He's not hard to get to. I can work with this. I can go. First, I need to find another missile. And then my big hope is that I find Morph Ball down here. Which it obviously isn't, but I don't know that. See, after finding Ridley, I now kind of feel like, hey, I'm still probably behind, but I don't feel as far behind now. I know where A boss is. Ridley is the easy boss. Generally, I always want to find Ridley first. And I told everyone else this, I think, that Ridley is the easiest boss. You should go do Ridley first. Like, there's 2 RNG seeds with NEStroid, if you don't have the fixed RNG, which this does not. And so one is absolutely free. And unfortunately for me, I'm going to find out that, as you see me creeping off the edge in that standing animation there, yeah, I screw things up pretty big. So yeah, a couple of morph dead ends, so I'm like, I think I've got one more door to look through, the one above this, and then it'll be, uh-oh, I'm really behind because I can't even do anything in here. So yeah, just sneaking off the edge so I can get my last check in. Everyone else in Norfair, Saffron joining me in Ridley, also looking for his morph ball. So yeah, poor Saffron had some trouble just because he thought he checked something and he didn't. His map kind of lied to him, and I just screwed this huge thing up big time. Like, I didn't even see what the item was. So I'm like, oh no. Like, I feel really bad now. Like, Ridley's right here. I should be able to go to him. Like, if I had ice, if I had one more missile, if I had ice, if I had high jump, if I had bombs. Like, I could use either of those 3 items plus missiles to get to Ridley, not come down all the way through here, and nope, doesn't happen. So yeah, I'm feeling really bad right now. I'm like, that's the farthest away. I have to go all the way back there just to kill Ridley later. And I'm like, that sucks. So like, Chex is in a really good spot. I don't think he has bombs, but he has high jump and ice. Plus, he has missiles. Indiaz is in a really good spot. He has, except I'm not sure if he has morph yet. He might not have morph. So yeah, something I know here is I know the train elevator, and there's the little structure before terrain. I know the train elevator is always to the left door, so now I know where that elevator is. That's always a marker you want to know. So, you know, I'm feeling really behind here, but I know where the train elevator is. That's something right close to the start. I know once I get these kills in, and there's morph balls, so now I'm I'm kind of kicking myself right now. It's like right next to the start. I'm like, welp, I went all that way and didn't get anything. And morph was right by the start. So yeah, Indiaz, he's cleaning some stuff up. Saffron is also kind of stuck looking for morph ball. And right here is my second missile. So right away, I'm like, I know where Ridley is. I need to go back and take care of him. If I get the good RNG seed, I don't need E-Take. And then, yeah, this is where the tilt starts to happen. So yeah, Chex getting an E-Tank there. E-Tank is very nice to have. And I don't remember where I'm going. Saffron's trying to farm some. Indiaz is trying to figure his way through. That bug spawn is pretty atrocious, honestly, because it'll hit you in the head like that, and it's super irritating. And you're like, what the heck? And because the way Screw Attack works, so yeah, you see Indiaz also doing that little ledge jump there, making good use of the tech. There's not much in terms of like actual tech in the game, but what is there, if you use it really good, you can do a lot of, I guess, exploration beyond what the normal bounds. NEStroid is pretty open with the items. So yeah, I made a beeline straight back to Norfair. I have my missiles. I have Morphin bombs. I can get to Ridley. So that's my goal right now. Go get to Ridley. Defeat Ridley. As Indiaz enters the room. Indiaz with 2 E-Tanks is much better equipped to deal with this. Because he does have the bad RNG seed as well. Ridley is shooting short fireballs. Not what you want to see, but he has Ice Beam, which plays a big part in being able to handle this. We'll get to me here in a second. Yeah, I take way too much damage. I'm too indecisive. So yeah, I get in there, joining Indiaz inwardly. Get the good RNG. For whatever reason, I decide, you know what, I'm just gonna sit here, and then the fireball hits me. That's a really bad start. But hey, I get the energy back, so yay. So I have a plan, and it would work. Problem is, the way those fireballs spawn, and then this room was the other problem. Because it's a dead end, no enemies spawn there. I wanted some enemies to spawn so I could heal up some, because that was what I was afraid of. So yeah, Indiaz, he done did his job. He's bailing. He's gonna check more in Norfair, but he's pretty well set here. So yeah, if I was smart, I would have restarted and then immediately did the up A thing just to reset the seed again, because I reset the seed now to the short fireball pattern. Every time you die and reset, the RNG seed changes to the opposite one. So I'm gonna have the short fireballs now. So if I up A, I'll have the long fireballs. So yeah, my energy, really good. Like, this is definitely enough energy to make it through to the other side, tank some fireballs, and get in the safe spot. However, I didn't think about that. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just bomb them. Bomb and shoot. It'll work. So yeah, you can kind of guess it doesn't work here. So yeah, I'm doing okay. Like, I'm not really hitting him too much, but I am taking damage too, more than I was wanting with my bombs here. So that was not fun. Yes, Indiaz is doing some excavating here. And then he got blocked. So yeah, Saffron, he's bailing out. He's checking burn start. And unfortunately, I die. And Saffron's, for whatever reason, just on his map does not mark the thing correctly. So Morph Ball is still out in the wild form. As Chex is doing Ridley as well. He's having some trouble, but he makes it through with just a couple energy left. One hit from death. So yeah, 2 deaths to Ridley. I had to bail out of here, come all the way back. I am... Personally, I am not feeling great about this. Like, I wanted... It was set up pretty well. Like, I found Ridley right away. I just didn't have the right items. Just a couple items short. I quickly found the other items near the start, and then I died to go all the way back and then died to Ridley twice, so I'm in a little bit of a panic mode. Like, the one thing I can think of is that I know where the train elevator is. Like, that's good. And I know Kraid will be somewhere on the right, because I've explored all the left. So I am a boss behind Chex, a boss behind Indiaz. Indiaz has already explored some of Kraid. Chex will be getting there. So yeah, I defeat Ridley. I'm going to bail right away. So yeah, Saffron, he's still looking around. So I think Saffron ends up finding Kraid and then looking for Morph Ball in there, which can appear there. It's one of the reasons I like this randomizer so much. You know, this stuff can appear anywhere. Problem is, it's not there, so Oh, so yeah, I don't bail out right away. I went looking for some items because I do want ice beam. Like I don't technically need anything else, but I do want ice beam. You can make it through terrain without, but you don't want to bet on that. So on a couple of these little morph ball spots, I am taking a quick look, or these morph ball and bomb spots. I'm taking a quick look just to see what's there. I don't want to leave ice beam down here. Like I have spent a lot of time in here, but you know, I I would spend even more time if I left ice beam down here, or I'd have a really painful end game. And honestly, I'm not exactly sure what Indiaz is doing. I think he might just be looking for the elevator back to Kraid because there's nothing else he needs. He might just be a little bit lost looking for that. So I do get that E-Tank there. I take the bet that there was nothing behind the missile in the other hallway, and I just bail out of there. I've already checked Norfair, I believe, so I don't check anything else there. So from this point, I am trying to find Kraid. Hope I get ice along the way, which I believe you have to pass ice to actually get to Kraid. So that played out pretty well. And then I kind of just want to bail. I want to get to Kraid, get out. So yeah, checks here. The most recent member of the I'll Race This Metrandomizer Club and play NEStroid is actually well in the lead at the moment. He is set with everything he needs. All he has to do is find Kraid, defeat him, and then leave. He's got Ice Beam, he has Varia. I think yeah, he has Varia, because he has the green hair. And so you can kind of see his strat right now. Because this is something we've kind of discovered about the randomizer. It tends to put, especially Kraid, it tends to put him at like the lowest section. So if you have a door at the first main shaft, if you're just diving for Kraid, you kind of want to go to the bottom of the room, that first shaft, and then explore through the door from there. It doesn't always work like that, but it's pretty common for that to do that. So that's what he's doing. He's doing the smart play, going all the way down, because he knows he just needs the boss. He might want some other items, but he doesn't need some. I mean, I'm sure another E-Tank or two would be nice. He wouldn't say no to Screw Attack. But and Chex has picked up the game really well. He's good enough. He doesn't need anything. He's set. And this was in basically a week. Saffron also finds Kraid, so he's gonna be Saffron is gonna be exploring Kraid, looking for Morph Ball. And I think he actually finds or gets to Kraid without Morph Ball somehow. I don't know how he does that. As Indiaz is also in Kraid. So yeah, I pick up Ice Beam there, so there goes my Wave Beam. Goodness, but the thing stacks. Can confirm. So I'm all set there. Now all I really need is Kraid. I take this door. I know the Kraid elevator will be to the right. So this was a gamble taking this door to the left, but it ends up paying off. Like after the whole fiasco at the start and then the troubles with Ridley, everything I did from this point just seemed to work. I took this one gamble on this item, turns out being high jump, which turned out to be a very important item for me in the Kraid area. That was super important. At the time, I'm thinking, you know, I don't really need this, but as we'll see, there's a thing that happens that I needed it. And I can't even, I still have a hard time believing it actually worked. So in Diaz, I'm not sure if he was as familiar with the kind of, I guess, logic that the randomizer uses with Kraid, where it kind of always puts them at the bottom door in that main shaft. So he's exploring for Kraid as well, because he's also, like Chex, complete go mode. Just gotta find a boss and beat it to move on. So yeah, right after high jump. And then, yeah, I picked up Varia on the other one. Yeah, I'm like, oh. Because there have been quite a few dead ends, so those were both risks. They just happened to both pay off. Because, yeah, with Varia, I'm definitely feeling very safe. I have 2 E-Tanks. Plus Varia, I feel pretty safe with this. So now I'm going to... I know... Say, I'm thinking, I'm like, I know Kraid's down. Or generally he's down. So this is another risk I'm taking to take this top left door. This one also pays off. It's like three doors in a row that pay off for me. This time it's with Screw Attack, which not needed at all for anything. It's just super convenient in this for just going through hallways. It makes such a big difference. Even though Screw Attack is limited with, you can't just spin jump up here and then fall all the way down with Screw Attack. It just doesn't work like that, unfortunately. But yeah, so I took that risk to go through that door, got Screw Attack. That was really nice to get. So now I'm like, okay, there's no way it's happening again. I'm just... I mean, there's really nothing else I could want at this point. Another E-Tank would be nice to refill my energy, but again, we'll get to that later, because I end up taking another risk in a bit, and that's also paying off. Chex is in the spot, so some of the structures in Kraid are pretty garbage, is what I would say, with the way they could be combined in this randomizer. So yeah, he's checking the doors to left, so am I. Kraid, you can only get to from going right to left, because there's no back door on him. It's not like Ridley where there's a door on either side. There's only one door. So we know we'll have to get to Kraid's room through a door going to the left. So that's kind of where everyone is going to be looking for. Saffron, actually, also without Morph Ball, Saffron is trying to pull something off here, which he does get eventually. And it's pretty amazing. So props to Saffron for even trying this. It's not easy. It's a pain. And in this case, it's not at all what he needed to do, but still, this is really good ingenuity on Saffron's part. So here we can kind of see India's trying to get this stupid structure thing. So yeah, it's combining these ripper shafts and these shot block shafts as I'm getting to it now. And it's absolute garbage. It's like, ugh. So yeah, took a little damage boost off that googly eye to get up. So Chex and myself, I think, are in the same spot. He might be one up above me. So yeah, Indiaz was actually right there. He just needed to get up that shaft. I'm not exactly sure why he bailed. Might have thought maybe he didn't explore some other things and thought maybe if Kraid's there, it'd be worth to explore there first. I'm not really sure. Ouch. Stupid side hoppers. So yeah, Screw Attack just makes life easier. Mostly with the bugs, but it does help farming as well with those side hoppers, because they can drop 20 health as I just got there. So yeah, I'm really not sure why Indiaz bailed from the shaft. That that I'm not sure about. As I'm just getting pummeled by garbage. And Saffron's still working on his... yeah. Saffron makes his way through. So, yeah. I'm trying to see if maybe it... yeah, poor Saffron just got a blank wall. Such a bad feeling. So, I am trying to see... about if there's another Ripper that would spawn, and it doesn't. So I'm just like, okay. So this is where my biggest big brain play happens, and this is why high jump is so good. First, because it lets you get up here. This move I do here, I was not expecting to work. I was not expecting to cross that gap, except I did. And I am really, that's like the favorite thing I've done. I was crossing that, and I believe after this fake Kraid, I believe Kraid is at the end of this hallway. Yeah, so I know where Kraid is now, because this structure always appears in front of Kraid. At least to my knowledge it does. So I open the door. So I have Varia, but I really want to be safe. I don't, like, I just made a trick I did not think it all was going to work. It took a while to get back here. I don't want to have to go all through it again if I die. So I am playing really safe here. Like, I still feel behind, but I am playing super safe. So at this point, I'm like, I'm going to bail. I'm going to look for a hallway up above. I'm going to see, well, right now I'm trying to farm bugs, which doesn't really, turns out not working out so well. It starts out all right, but now it just goes bad. It's just bad from this point on. Start tanking damage instead of gaining it, health. Just start losing it. Like, that's not the goal. So I'm like, okay, we're not going to mess with this. And then, of course, as a parting gift, a bug hits me through the door. So I decide, check a hallway. Oh, okay, there's a hallway up there. Let's check this. My absolute favorite thing that could happen here is an energy tank. That would definitely put me in safe mode. And I was actually just fine as is with my health, but I was being super cautious because how poorly everything went up to this point already. I don't want to die and make things worse. So I hope for an E-tank, and yep, got an E-tank. Initially, I was just trying to find like a different hallway, one that has like 3 side hopper spawns in it, because they can drop 20 health. So I was just going to use Screw Attack, farm those easier than the bugs, and instead I got an E-tank. So 10 out of 10. So yeah, Chex found Kraid too. He's already taken care of Kraid. So he is in terrain go mode. He just has to bail and leave. Oh, and in Diaz, I didn't even know that happened to him. It's kind of unfortunate where he kind of just got wrecked by some stuff in there. And NEStroid, you know I said Chex picked this up in like a week or whatever, and he's doing really good. And it's true, he did grab this in basically just a week. This game can be really mean sometimes. Chex is just really good. So yeah, I take care of Kraid. Now I'm on my way out, and we don't know where each other is. We weren't allowed to watch the restream. We're not in like any group channel with timers or anything like that. We're all separate, so you know, I know where terrain is. I do feel behind. Like, this is, I know on my timer, this is like way faster than I've ever done, but I still feel behind because the way this thing was set up. So I'm like, no. So yeah, Chex enters Cotton Candy platform terrain first. And Chex was just a little more cautious. I guess less confident might be another way to put it with his terrain. Like with terrain, I feel perfectly fine here. I'll get health off Metroids. I have plenty of missiles. You need like 73 missiles. Yeah, 73 missiles for all of Mother Brain, if you don't miss anything. So I've got 127. I can literally use 50 missiles here and be fine. I'd rather not, because I'd rather not have to be so precise with my missiles, but it's fine. So yeah, I'm a little more confident with my Mother Brain room and my health and missiles going into that than I think Chex was, because Chex ends up going a little slow through here. I also leave that Metroid behind because I do know I want to farm a little bit, but the spot where Chex is at right now is actually kind of where I want to be. Like that's the farm spot, as in Diaz is trying to get this. Yeah, the struggle bus is real with the stupid crate structures. So yeah, I'm doing some farming. I got all the missiles. I actually was not looking for missiles there. I did actually want some health here just to be safe. I ended up not needing it. I get the 60 here. I wouldn't have needed it, but when does? Yeah, India's isn't quite doing the bomb pattern right. So yeah, Chex and myself in Mother Brain room. Now I think just from a lot more experience playing this game, I'm a little or a lot more comfortable with this particular room and the damage. Like I don't want to take damage, but I'm not going to spend my time avoiding a whole bunch of it either. I feel plenty fine. So yeah, Chex is backing out. He's gonna do some refill. I mean, he's got 30-something health, so not a bad idea. So with Varia, that's 2 hits from the Rinkos, basically, that he can take. So yeah, he wants to just be safe, refill. So yeah, I'm just taking some Rinkos in some spots, kind of just luring them out into other places. You don't need to freeze all of them to make life more convenient. Just even 1 or 2 makes a big difference. So yeah, I didn't even need to farm that 60 health. I would have ended with 2 health. Might have made me panic a little more, but turns out not the worst thing. So yeah, Chex is returning into Mother Brain's room, but I have already defeated her now. And I just have the structure left to get through and get out to finish off my part of the relay. Give my team a nice start, because as it turns out, I was the first to finish. So I am really happy with that result. This could have been somewhere like 35-minute range, maybe even low 30 range if I had just gone to the right, got Morph Ball and a missile, and then gone to the left. But as it turns out, still, that was a really ended up being a solid run for my team. So I am really happy with that result. Obviously not losing any place to any of the other teams. Kind of important in a relay. So yeah, you see here with Chex, what Chex is doing. Pardon me. What Chex is doing is a bit too safe for me. Like, this is this is something that would come with more experience. Like, this is little too safe with Mother Brain there. So yeah, Team Blade Metal got off to a good start. We ended up keeping the lead and ended up winning the whole relay. So hooray for the best team. But seriously, this was a really fun event. I'm really hopeful that this will be a thing again in the future. I'm really hopeful as well that more people join in with the Metrandomizer. I know a lot of people don't like NEStroid, whatever. It's actually a really fun game. So, I mean, there are quirks, there are some definite weird things about it, but I think it's really fun and people should play this thing. So that is where I am going to stop this for this relay. NDS ended up getting third. Saffron finished fourth. But I think, if I remember correctly, Solsky and Friends got second. Silver Spacers got third overall, and Lots of Spaghetti had lots of spaghetti and ended up getting fourth overall. So, but not because Chex. Chex did a really good run. So, thanks for watching, everybody. That'll be it for this. I'm really hopeful we get to see and do another relay here at some point in the maybe not near future, but in the future. It was a lot of fun. I really like to see more of this.